The final race this weekend at Silverstone for the Toyo Tires Porsche Championship. Watch out for the 924 class. We saw some great action there in race 2, and I expect the same again in this final race. It's over to our commentary team to take you through all of the action.
Thanks, Lloyd. The reverse grid sees Kevin Ludford on pole from Andrew Baker, Anthony Hutchins and Lee Bowden row 2, Andrew Porter and Gary Lawrence about to renew their hostilities in the nicest possible way. They're on row 3. John Jones and Hugh Pert ahead of Chris Valentine and Pete Smith for the classic 924s. Ready for the start here on the international circuit. Gary Lawrence starts on the back row of the grid. This is his opportunity again to try and close down on Andrew Porter, who makes an absolutely stonking start. Very quick indeed. They're both past Lee Bowden, but it's a good start out front with Anthony Hutchins, the chaser at the moment, in car with Gary Lawrence, but the race leader is Kevin Ludford. So it's Ludford in front, challenge on for third place, Lawrence going through. Anthony Hutchins was challenging for the lead out front. Andy Baker off the back, so it's Hutchins from Ludford, then Gary Lawrence. Andrew Porter in 4th place. Don't forget the 924 battle as well. Pete Smith could grab the championship lead here by my maths, as Lawrence comes down Hanger Straight. Much drier conditions, side by side here for 2nd position. Lawrence about to grab it on the way in towards Stowe. Kevin Ludford is on the outside line. Ludford down to 3rd, down to 4th now because Porter goes through as well. Just realised it's very much a home race for Kevin Ludford. Comes from Milton Keynes, but wonderful to see him back on the grid. And Lee Bowden looks around the outside line of him as they come down into Vale. Is Lee going to get that done? He does. Super move around the outside line. Good respectful racing from the pair. And Andy Baker is in the mix as well, trying to close up, the former production champion. Andrew Porter challenging for 2nd place, so a repeat of the racing that we've had in races 1 and 2, but this time for 2nd position because it is Anthony Hutchins, the man from Rye, who is new driver to the championship this year. Missed 2 meetings. I hope we'll see a lot more of him in the final race at Donington, as Porter again all over the back at the moment of Gary Lawrence. These two, I really hope in many ways the championship goes down to the last race of the year as Hutchins goes down the inside line and for the umpteenth time this weekend passes Gary Lawrence. Are we going to see Lawrence repass for the umpteenth time as well? We had some super racing from the pair of them, clean racing as well. It's been a joy to watch. But it's Hutchins Hutchins leading, Porter P2 ahead of Gary Lawrence, then Lee Bowden. We've got Pete Smith leading the 924s again and set to take the championship lead. Rest that from Hugh Pert if they finish the way they are at the moment. So Lawrence back in P2. This again a 20-minute race and alpha free, so we won't have any issues with back markers. And as I said in the previous races, there's never an intention for the back markers to balk, but it's a very, very difficult when you've got a fast car coming up on you to know, particularly where you've got the S-beds, where to place the car. But to my mind, it did interfere with a couple of the passes that we had, a couple of the battles that we had, certainly in the Boxster class over the course of races 1 and 2. But I think the results that we've had have probably been fair, to say the least. Hutchins still out front, 2 cars in front. Here he is in red, white and blue. Then Andrew Porter in 2nd place at the moment. Gary Lawrence still on for another podium, but remember losing a couple of points here. Again, it's 6 starters, so full championship points available. Porter still the man who drops scores in the championship, having had an extremely reliable and fast season so far. As they go through Stowe Corner again, still Anthony Hutchins out front, but just get the impression that Porter and Lawrence are that little bit quicker. They have been through the course of the meeting, but Hutchins will take a wee bit of confidence here for having led convincingly, got into the lead convincingly, led for a couple of laps now, and they're not all over the back of him at the minute because they're, I think, probably jousting with each other as well. Across the line they go, or toying with each other, we probably should say, a little bit, as Gary Lawrence has a look down the inside line, goes back to the outside. Going to use this configuration for the first time next year in the British Touring Car Championship, which is going to be fantastic. because it's a really good circuit with plenty of overtaking opportunities. As Gary Lawrence is about to try and prove. They're both going to prove. Attacking Anthony Hutchins. Lawrence goes up into second, or does he? We ride side by side. No, he doesn't. He tried. But Andy Porter holds on to second place. This is probably allowing Anthony Hutchins to maintain the lead at the moment, and I think Lawrence just wants to get second place done rather than follow the leader through. We'll see how this develops. We've still got Lee Bowden next up, then Kevin Ludford and Andy Baker relatively close in 5th and 6th still, and we'll probably at some stage during the race catch up with some of the classic 924 runners as well. With the we didn't so much in the second race because of A, the safety car, and B, the differential between the two classes was negated by it being slightly slower, being a wet race, but the safety car was probably a big factor as well. So we didn't get to see the Boxsters getting into 924 traffic in the closing stages, but on the lap times I'm seeing here, assuming we don't get a safety car, we will probably see that. Anyway, super battle going on for second. Lawrence still all over the back of Andrew Porter, who grabs the inside line here, and that is all about challenging the race leader. And has he timed it well? He dived down the inside but lost a little bit of speed under braking, and there was a faster line by Anthony Hutchins, who came out of Village Corner onto loop, still in lead position. Porter's looking for the inside line. Lawrence is going even further to the inside, and again pops his nose up the inside line as they head down Hanger Straight, inside as they come down towards Stowe. So a great battle on for second place and indeed the lead, and Lawrence should have the initiative here. He's got it, but now we see Porter coming back. Porter has a speculative look down the inside line, hasn't got the momentum. He's seen plenty of the back end of Gary Lawrence's car this meeting, and again goes to the outside. He's pulled off a move on the outside going into Vale this weekend, and is he going to do it again? He does. Superb. Simply brilliant stuff from these two. Clean and fair racing. If you're looking to come Porsche racing, I can't think of any better advertisement than what we've seen this weekend between these two drivers. But look how they're slowing each other up. Hutchins is getting away. Boys, you need to sort yourselves out and close down on the Rye man up ahead. This is amazing stuff. Great battle for second, but I think they're letting the leader get away with things at the minute. In car with Gary Lawrence once again. 7 minutes into the race, 20-minute race this is, so about a third distance, a little bit of a wobbly back end for the 33, and you got a clear indication there of how much momentum was lost. It was enough for Lawrence to have a look up the inside line, but not enough for Lawrence to go through into second place. There is the 33 car, Porter still there. This is where Lawrence is quick, seems to have the legs onto the Hanger Straight down into Stowe Corner. Is he going to be able to hold on to that inside line? Remember, Porter did the outside as they went into Vale last time. Might want to return the compliment there again, but super move by Lawrence once again. Back into second. Can he now chase down Anthony Hutchins, the race leader? Here comes Porter. Porter this time dives down the inside line, inside or outside, Porter doesn't care, back into P2, super stuff from Porter, and again, great driving from Gary Lawrence, who was very much aware of what was going on, didn't pull across. A lesser driver would have blocked, pulled across, maybe had contact, but these two are having superb racing, and now Lawrence has got to do it all again. Will he do it as they come out of loop onto Hanger Straight again? We'll see. I've actually lost count of how many overtakes and repasses these two have had over the course of the meeting. It's been a sensational battle and a memorable one. It's going to stick in the mind, this meeting, for sure. Gary Lawrence chasing hard. You can see he's just getting a little bit more momentum here. Porter seems a little bit squirrely at times, coming out of Village, through loop and onto the Hanger Straight. Let's see whether Lawrence is going to get a run again. Fancies his chances here. He's very quick out of that corner. He's closing up. I don't think closing as much as he did on the previous two laps, where he grabbed the position here. He's got the overlap though. Well, I spoke too soon, and here comes Lawrence again, about to go through on the inside line. They're side by side. Porter's going to try and brave it out on the outside line at Stowe, but Lawrence has got the inside. Oh no, he hasn't got it, and Porter does brave it out and maintain second position, doesn't have to go for the dive, down into Vale this time. Well, this pair, if they settle down, they might be able to close in on Anthony Hutchins, who for sure will have one eye on the mirror. Look at that nice wide line through club there. On the way into club for the number 3 of Gary Lawrence, again gets right under the rear wing of the second place car. Lee Bowden's not that far back either, and Lawrence, he's behind again, but he's all over the back of the 33 car. We're at half distance on the clock here at Silverstone on the international circuit, the third race of the 7th event out of 8 of the 2019 season for the BRSCC Toyo Tires Porsche Championship. What racing we have had this weekend. And these two, I'm sure the rest of the field will agree with me, have been the real 2 stars of our coverage here. They've swapped places like nobody's business, and here comes Lawrence again. Gets a great run onto Hanger Straight and is going to reclaim second position again. Anthony Hutchins will just be thankful that these two keep trading second position, because it's really taken the pressure off him. Lawrence goes through, he's wider on the run through into Stowe corner. Slowed up a little bit there, that had to check up Andrew Porter a little bit. Porter, this is where he's quick. Now watch, will he go inside or outside here? Lawrence, I think, wanted him to go down the inside, but Porter's thinking about the line in and the line out, carrying the speed, maybe having a go down at the end of the national pit straight into Abbey, the right-hander, but he's not close enough to do that at the moment. So maybe Gary Lawrence will repeat what he did in race 2 and grab the fastest lap. At the moment, Andrew Porter is fastest and will get the extra point for fastest lap there. 3.5 points is the gap between the two, which is exactly as it was when we came into the meeting after Anglesey. Porter here will lose out slightly to Gary Lawrence, but he's got that bonus point of the fastest lap in his back pocket at the moment. Lovely shot. Here come the 924s. And it's Hugh Pert having a good race here with around the on his inside John Jones in 6.39. Chris Valentine is in behind at the moment. Chris in 4th place. Quite surprised to see Chris back in 4th, but the 924s have provided some good race. Obviously Pete Smith is out front, so as we expected, the Boxsters closing up on them, and Hugh Pert here, if he gets in front of John Jones, that will potentially limit Pete Smith's points in terms of getting into the championship lead in the 924s. But now we've got Gary Lawrence has been able to close in on Anthony Hutchins, has just broken the shackles of Andrew Porter right behind him, and he's going to have a look for the lead. 3 wide down the main straight, and this is where Lawrence surely has got his nose in front as they cross the line. Lawrence leads. Hutchins is about to, I think, be challenged for second place as well by Andrew Porter. Porter's on the inside line, and Hutchins, who patiently held the lead for so long, is now, I think, down into 3rd. We're on board with Andrew Porter, who's up into 2nd. Now he can get racy again, put his skates on and try and close down once again on Gary Lawrence. So the race that was for 2nd could well now be for the lead. Anthony Hutchins is still there in 3rd place, having led gamely and superbly for the opening stages, and they're closing up on the pair battling for 2nd in the 924s. It's John Jones there at the moment from Hugh Pert. Pert taking a wide line there at Stowe. They'll be very mindful, will the 924s, of the lead Boxsters coming through. Now, is this race settled? Because Lawrence has got a little bit of a gap at the moment. Nips past Hugh Pert. John Jones again on this tricky part of the circuit, lefts and rights, will go wide, sees the green machine of the race leader coming through. So Gary Lawrence here looking to make it 2 wins on the bounce. He's not going to be able to get a six successive race wins run this year, as Andrew Porter did, because we've only got 3 more races going at Donington Park. Remember, the final meeting at Donington features a 40-minute race with double points, which we really look forward to in kart with Andrew Porter once again. And 94s, remember, Pete Smith still leading. Plenty of racing going on for the podium positions in the 924s, but Smith, by my reckoning, is going to take the championship lead here, or exit from the Silverstone International meeting with the championship lead as we go to Donington Park. Smith, remember, didn't join the championship till the 3rd event at Camberwell Park, so a good achievement for him. So it's Lawrence leading, Porter 2nd, Hutchins 3rd, Lee Bowden is next, and then side by side still between Hugh Pert and John Jones. Gary Lawrence looking relatively comfortable at the moment as we ride on board with Andrew Porter. This is where he's put on a couple of moves on Gary Lawrence in this race, but Lawrence has got the Avery's car very much on the road, thinking ahead, good lines, and starting to build a little bit of a lead, really getting into that race rhythm that we were talking about earlier on. Across the line he goes again, ticks off another lap here. Super stuff. Here come the battling 924s once again. Hugh Pert and John Jones. What a super race they're having. And Hugh taking a wide line here. Could well challenge. They're going through Abbey. Not really close enough at the moment. Heading towards Farm. We're back on board with Andrew Porter in second position. Still busy chasing Gary Lawrence. Porter's just put in fastest lap again, 1:17.545, 85.92 miles per hour, and that is Anthony Hutchins out of the race. So Lee Bowden is up to third. Hutchins, who led for so long and so well, is sadly out of the race. John Jones still in second. I'm wondering when they're going to catch Pete Smith, the two leaders. We haven't seen Pete yet. And these two well clear. So Lee Bowden will be on for another podium. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be a 7th podium of the year for Lee Bowden if he hangs on to it. Kevin Ludford running in 4th. It would be good for Kevin to bag a podium. I think potentially a first podium if he can close down them, but he's got a lot of work to do. You can see Lee Bowden in the distance there. He's got a good lead, but if either of the two race leaders take each other. Now look at this, 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the 924s, all in one shot after a long weekend of racing. And Hugh Pert still putting the pressure on, trying to get P2 away from John Jones. Chris Valentine is in the mix as well. Valentine's closed up on these two, so this is a determined mid to late race from Chris Valentine closing in and looking to maintain his challenge for third place in the championship, which he holds at the moment. In car with Andrew Porter again, second place under the bridge down towards Stowe. Tell you what, Gary Lawrence looking comfortable still here with around about 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Hugh Pert coming under pressure now. Chris Valentine. Pert goes wide here. Valentine's going to try and do a Gary Lawrence there and get a good run down the hanger straight, maybe grab third position. Meanwhile, some way ahead, here comes Lawrence down into Vale once again. This is a super race coming through into Club Corner. And across the line once again, Lawrence has just been able to keep, I was going to say arm's length, keep Porter at arm's length, but it's not quite that much of a gap, and Porter just not quite close enough to challenge as the three classics come down into Vale. You can see Valentine really caught Hugh Pert here and looking to get a podium finish. John Jones still in P2. He's only had one of those so far this year, which is surprising. That was the second race, the middle race at Snetterton on the 300 circuit. So back with the two leaders, and Gary Lawrence here is still there. Ah, the gyration for John Jones! That could have been a very nasty moment. Bad enough for him, but that could have been a big hit. But thankfully, both cars go past him. Hugh Pert into second, Chris Valentine into third. He was up and challenging them. And John Jones down into 4th place. There's Pete Smith, the leader of the 924s, being closed down on now by Gary Lawrence in the closing stages of the race. So Pert second, Valentine third. I was making the point that John Jones has had a big score of podium finishes. I'm surprised he hasn't had more than 1 second place, but spoke too soon there. Sadly spun it away, but has rejoined in 4th position. The fastest lap, by the way, unsurprisingly with the 924s, is still with Pete Smith. But this is looking relatively settled. The clock is ticking down, and we're on board with Andrew Porter. The gap is bigger than it was in race 1 and 2. This race has been in no way an anticlimax after our first two races. Porter running a little bit wide there, maybe taken a little bit more out of his tyres perhaps than Gary Lawrence has over the course of the meetings. It's Lawrence out front. It could still go the way of Andrew Porter. By my reckoning, this is the penultimate lap, so they're coming down through Stowe, and it's Lawrence still there out front at the moment. Porter's got the fastest lap. Championship-wise, this will mean that Porter will go on drop scores to 236 points, and Lawrence will have 233.5, which is 2.5 points the gap as we go to Donington, which is literally nothing. It's going to be about who gets the best results at Donington, which is exactly how a championship should finish. Lee Bowden will go third in the championship now. Anthony Hutchins is fourth by my reckoning, and Nick Hull fifth. And in the 924s, Pete Smith will assume the championship lead from Hugh Pert, with Chris Valentine ahead of John Jones by 2 points. That's subject to official confirmation. That's my quick arithmetic as we run through this race. As you can see, Valentine not finished yet, could still get P2 and take another point out of Hugh Pert. But on the last tour, this has been a super weekend for both Gary Lawrence and Andrew Porter, and it's going to be 2 wins for Lawrence by the look of it. We better hold our breath on that one, because we did see the problem on the last lap of the first race. But here comes Gary Lawrence down the hanger straight into Stowe for the last time. Andrew Porter around about a 1.5 seconds behind, but good points from Porter once again, and maintaining the lead of the championship, which is advantage Porter going into the last event of the year, which I hope you'll join us for. But Gary Lawrence is going to make it 2 wins out of 3. Into Vale for the last time. The man from Devon feeds through, out of Vale, into Club Corner now. The checkered flag is being readied for him as he comes out of the final turn. Where's the reward? There it is, checkered flag. Gary Lawrence wins. Andrew Porter second. Lee Bowden will take third place. Lee is a little bit further back. Here comes Lee around the final turn and takes the checkered flag for third. It's a win for Pete Smith in the 924 category, but here's the official result. Gary Lawrence from Andrew Porter, Lee Bowden, Kevin Ludford and Andrew Baker. Retirement for Anthony Hutchins, fastest lap Andrew Porter. And in the classic Boxsters, Pete Smith makes it 3 out of 3 from Hugh Pert, Chris Valentine, John Jones, and fastest lap to Pete Smith, the winner.
Gary, your third podium position, 2 wins today. That's not a bad way of closing the title, is it?
No, I was happy with that weekend. Yeah, I was hoping to go with clean sweep, but I threw the lead away on the last lap yesterday. No, really good. Great race just then, especially because I only had 3rd and 5th gear. Well, I had 1st, 3rd and 5th. That's all I had to, and obviously off the start line I thought it was going to be a nightmare, but any other circuit that would have been a massive issue, but this is so fast and flowing, as long as you try and keep the momentum going, it sort of sorted itself out. So yeah, really happy with that, really unexpected.
Andrew, tough race there, 2nd place. Talk us through it.
Well, Gary, we knew I had a problem with his gearbox and he had a couple of gears, so I did that. I think I'd probably win the race, but I just couldn't get the car to hang straight, and every time down there with the speed of his car, he just pulled away. Managed to close him back in, but every lap he just managed to get away from me again. There's nothing I could do. The problems he had in the car, it was a great race, a great win for him. Just shame I couldn't get him.
Closes him up a little bit in the points going into Donington, but you've pretty much got the hand on that trophy.
I wouldn't quite go that far. Anything can happen at Donington. Just take every race at a time and see what happens when it's all finished.
Brilliant 924 win there in the final race this weekend. It's been exciting in the 924 class all weekend, hasn't it? But you've walked away 3 from 3.
Yeah, well, luckily I missed all the excitement because that's been going on behind. But yeah, I think the key was to get a good start, put a gap in between us and kind of stay out of trouble, because there's been a bit of rubbing going on, a bit of nudging, and it's good to try and stay away from all that if you can. So yeah, perfect weekend really. 3 wins, 3 fastest laps, so maximum points which I needed, because Hugh is, well, before the weekend was 6 points ahead, so I think we're just about even. I might have 1 or 2 points on Hugh now, but Donington's a double race points at the end, so whatever happens, I think it's going to come down to that. So it's going to be exciting. Can't wait, really.
Yeah, and hopefully there's going to be a couple more 924s out as well, we hear.
I believe so, yeah, and that'll mix things up, because if it's double points again, well, normal points, and a double points race, then it literally will be down to that 40-minute stint. So, and I've never done one before, So that'll be interesting.
Well, we certainly look forward to seeing you out there in Donington in a couple of weeks, and congratulations on all 3 of your victories this weekend.
Cheers, thank you very much.